not to vaccinate. So here's how to heal the damage 101. So this is the very child I showed, whose sister was also on the screen. Her X-ray was also beside him. So Trevor walks in my office with his mother, who we met actually at that seminar. I do believe, if memory serves me correctly, that Dr. Eisenstein spoke at with me. Damage to the central nervous system. She's tried everything. She tried auriculotherapy, vitamins, chelation, multiple other therapies to help her child. And while, yes, indeed, thank the Lord, she saw some improvements, what she considered to be small incremental changes with everything they did. In her description, there just wasn't anything that was sustained, nothing that really took grip. And I looked at the X-ray, and when I showed it to her, I was like, it's right there. That's the problem. That's the cause. You correct that, all this other awesome stuff you're doing to help your child is going to transform everything. So Trevor, in the picture you're looking at, was unable to sit still. He wouldn't pay attention. His focus was off. He was stimming all the time. He couldn't ride a bike. He had to have training wheels because he was just all over the place with his focus. Let me show you. I want to show you guys the new Trevor, because what we do in my office is what's called corrective care. And you'll notice his X-ray doesn't look anything like the first one. It's a complete correction. Looking at that brainstem area has literally just opened up. It's completely clear up there, right below the base of his skull. Brain can shoot the messages through. So now, remember, all health and healing comes from what organ? The brain. It's actually working. So it's sending the messages through. So the new Trevor sat still in class and watched a program for 25 minutes straight. The new Trevor ran in at a block party, jumped on his sister's bike, and just took off. No training wheels. The new Trevor also did something that most parents hate, which is he talked back to his father. And his father loved that because, for those of you that don't know, the majority of kids on the autistic spectrum, they can't do that. They don't have the capacity to talk back. And he did it, and his dad said it was the best day of his life. So right there, that's called healing the damage. So what we've done there is allowed that power, that wisdom, that amazing intelligence that I talked about at the beginning to work at its fullest inside of Trevor. And then now, think about it, now he's going to get B12. Now he's going to take vitamin D. Now his mom's going to feed him, our healing diet that we teach our patients. Do all these other things. Now his body can use it. That's called transformation. That's called massive healing. So that's Trevor right there. Amazing little spirit. I love that guy. He's just fun to be around too. Just a joy. One more I wanted to show you here is Lester. This is one of my more recent cases of a child that came in. What you're looking at is the term called scoliosis. He's got an early development of that, which is, we're finding out it's fairly common within the autism community and anybody on the spectrum in particular. So he's got that developing, and as everybody knows, with any scoliosis, if you leave it alone, it just gets worse. So Lester has a habit, and what Lester would do is he would take off running, like wouldn't hold still, wouldn't stand still, had a little bit of, not rage, but he would just have outbursts, and kind of uncontrollably. So he actually had that happen in my office when I met him. And pretty cool thing happened. 2 months later, when we are going to obviously see if this is working, I have to take another picture. That's his new picture, his new X-ray. You can see that's almost perfectly straight, correcting that scoliosis, which, by the way, your orthopedic doesn't even know about. They don't even know you can do it. They don't even know it's possible. But it is when you know what you're doing. Now, can every chiropractor do it? No, you got to be trained in special procedures I'm going to talk about next slide. But this little boy Lester, the cool story, the way it goes, is his dad told me as he walked in one day, just came straight at me in my adjusting area, and just stared me down, and I could tell there was something on his mind. And I joke with him because my first thought was that I thought he might have been mad at me or something, but it turns out he was just overly emotional because his wife and him, they took their boy on a trip to the water park, and he actually sat still, and they were able to just sit there and have a conversation for the first time, and they couldn't remember how long when Lester's actually around them. The boy's transforming. And are both of these kids still considered on the autistic spectrum? Yes. But is life better for their parents? Absolutely. Are their relationships improving? Yes. Is everything about their school improving? Yes. Are they going to get mainstreamed in some classes? Without a doubt. Is it going to cost taxpayers less money down the road as we look at this epidemic that's set in? There's no question. So the ramifications of this problem that I'm showing you, not autism, not vaccines, but this problem of spinal damage due to subluxation is so astronomical we can't even put a pin on it. We can't even put a number on it because of the changes that we're seeing happen in these kids. We now see, wow, holy cow, the world changes if we get this pressure off so the people can get the best. So a little bit about that type of care, because it's not standard. A lot of people think, well, I've been going to a chiropractor. I get chiropractic care. This is a completely different protocol. As you can see on the picture on the left, that there's an instrument that's we call an arthrostim instrument, which can impulse into the mechanoreceptors 14 beats a second. I can't do that with my hands. So that's how we do correction. We overstimulate that central nerve system to get the spine to readjust. We wear head weights. We do tractioning. Just little babies with pediatric methods and techniques I've been trained in so that we can absolutely clear the damage, clear that so that people can get that. So how do you know if you have the problem? It's very simple. There's warning signs. They're all on the screen, everything from constipation and intestinal issues. Colic is one of the major ones that we see with kids besides ear infections. Those two things with babies, 99% of the time it's due to subluxation when it's present. We've got low energy, depression, there's ADD, ADHD, attention issues, allergies and sinus problems, ear infections, I said that, headaches, neck and back pains, pain and tingling in the arms, insomnia, immune system, symptoms of autism spectrum disorders, etc. The list goes on. The point is, all those warning signs are nothing more than signs that the body's not working at its full function. So the concept here is, what's interfering with it? Because I believe this wholeheartedly. God needs no help healing you. He just needs no interference. And we are interfering in this country massively. And the most dangerous warning sign of all is not having one, the no symptom symptom, the one where the people take their 8-year-old girl in and find out she's got a tumor the size of a grapefruit in her stomach that could have been avoided possibly. So these are the cues, the clues that you can look into as far as warning signs of this issue. So how do you know, how do I know how we test for this? This is what makes us different. Offices like mine and mine as well. We do digital posture imaging. We analyze that on our computer system. We do a thermal image, which is actually technology approved by NASA. The Space Foundation endorses it. It's amazing stuff that tells me about the state of health of the nerve system. And then structural x-rays. We do digital structural x-rays, which blows my mind anyway. I can't believe they actually, in the medical field, when you go in with any kind of simple problem, not even talking about kids and their spines, but even an adult with back pain, they take your x-ray laying on your back. I don't know anybody, most of the time your back hurts when you're standing or sitting, so we take weighted, you're on your feet, structural views, and we take digital x-rays so I can see detail and instantaneously if there's an issue. So as we complete, I want to show you these last two x-rays. You're looking at a highly functional 6-year-old on the left. That's a highly functional 5-year-old on the right. There's no pressure on their nerve system. There never has been, and God willing, there never will be, because I do everything I can to make certain that those two don't have any of that, and those are them. Those are my 2 little boys. And, God's blessed me with some amazing kids and amazing health for our family, but we make different decisions. We don't follow the world's decisions. If the world was getting healthier, especially Americans, we'd do what they do. It isn't working, so we do something different. And we base it, though, not on some cockamamie idea. We base it on principles of the way the body works, and the very one called healing. So last but not least, we're going to do questions momentarily, but my gift to you, again, the way that this works, you can come into my office. I'll do a complete evaluation. That will include any thermography, digital structural x-rays, whatever we have to do to find out the status of your health of your nervous system or you or your child. It's over $300 value, but what we'll do for you guys is you're going to get all that for a $20 donation tonight. You obviously don't make it tonight, but you make it when you come into the office. It's for you and one additional family member, so 2 of you can take advantage of that. I've only got 7 of these appointment packages available actually tomorrow, which is Thursday, on Friday, or on Monday of next week. And the other good news, I'm donating the services, and then the $20 or however much you choose to donate actually goes 100% of it to Autism One, an amazing group that helps the autistic community greatly. So again, just email me by 10 o'clock, Dr. Ashley, that's D-R-A-S-H-L-Y, at healthfromwithin.net. Just put it in the subject line, webinar offer, and we'll take care of you. And last but not least, I'm going to invite everybody out, you too, Dr. Eisenstein, you and anybody you know and love, this Saturday. I just decided to throw a party, and we're kind of veering off our health path. We're taking what we call a health vacation day, a nutrition vacation day this day, and we're actually going to do a luau to the T. I mean, it's going to be a pig roast the way they do it, and we're just going to have some fun. We're going to have some games. It's right over in Tinley Creek Woods. Tons of fun, games, food. I just want to appreciate my patients, your patients, the community, and you, Dr. Eisenstein. So we want to just officially invite everybody out. So you can also, on that email, if you want to come to the party, just put an RSVP in the email that you guys send me. Or if you're not going to take advantage of that offer, just go ahead and RSVP for the party. And we'd love to have you and have a great time. So that's all I've got tonight. I'm definitely ready for questions. So let's get them going.
Dr. Ashley, first of all, thank you very much. Just awesome. But we have to start by realizing the one awesome thing about the web is that we have people listening all around the country and actually all around the world also, and
oh, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot to mention one thing. I'm affiliated with 400 plus. Actually, I think we're pushing 700 now. Chiropractors like me. We're called Maximize Living Doctors. And you guys, I don't care where you live, put the offer in the subject line and email me, and I will find you the right place.
Oh, that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. And we're going to put up your website so for everyone to so you can. Yeah, I have it right here. There we go. I think we have. Do we have the right website up here on the screen?
I think I need to shut my thing off here. There. I can see it.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. I want to ask. We have lots and lots of questions here, and I'm going to ask you really before we even get in, because we have about 20 minutes, and we'll try to get as many questions as we can. But Dr. Ashley, would you be willing to come back more, and we'll just have questions and answers at another webinar?
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Awesome, absolutely awesome. I'm just kind of curious, and this is the question I've asked all of the doctors and all of the guests that I've had. What brought you to this? I mean, what made you and your wife decide to question vaccines? Because that's really one of the things, many of the listeners have already come to the conclusion they're not going to vaccinate. But I've always been fascinated to figure out what it is that made you so unique and special.
Right. Here's where we came from. I'm a chiropractor by training. These days, your typical chiropractor doesn't have any education about vaccination. Now, way back, our traditional roots of chiropractic was a very, very solid, principally based group that believed in nothing foreign coming into the body except obviously for an emergency and a crisis to save your life. So I, though, never resonated with the new crowd, so to speak, in their philosophy at least, and the old made sense to me as a principle. It's like, how in the heck can you truly produce the same immune response by popping the skin with a needle? Because A, it's going to produce the wrong immune response because it thinks that it's an emergency. It doesn't. It's not. It never comes in through the nose or the eyes or the mouth or the throat. So A, that didn't make sense. B, it's like I read the ingredients list and I about fell over. And I'm like, why would I put that in my child? And I know the only reason my mother put it in me is because she didn't know. So that's where we came to, and I got to tell you, I'm sure there's a lot of women on the lines and wives. My wife knew nothing about this whole thing, and it was like brand new to her when I was like, oh, by the way, if we have children, there's no way we're going to vaccinate them. So at first hearing of that, she was taken aback. But then once I educated her about it, she was like, well, yeah, that's a no-brainer. So it was really just from my roots as chiropractic training that got me to that.
And I can tell you, I have great respect for chiropractic training because as an allopathic physician, I've got all this book learning on how to give drugs, do surgery, and somehow there's no wellness thinking, whatsoever.